Kevin Feige reveals how Gareth Edwards, the creator, inspired Marvel's new cost-cutting strategy after recent failures and production struggles. Welcome to Stats In. If you're just joining us, please subscribe and don't forget to turn on notifications bell for more video. When the creator hit theaters in 2023, it wasn't just sci-fi fans paying attention. Turns out, even Marvel Studios was watching closely. Directed by Gareth Edwards, the same guy behind Rogue One and Jurassic World Rebirth, the film didn't break the box office or win over critics. But behind the scenes, it pulled off something magical, something that Marvel desperately needed. Kevin Feige, the mastermind behind the Marvel Cinematic Universe, is taking notes from unexpected places. He came across director Gareth Edwards, the creator, a movie that may not have pleased everyone with its storytelling, but it certainly turned heads with its jaw-dropping visuals and surprisingly lean budget. So now, despite being a divisive film, the creator impressed Hollywood insiders, including Kevin Feige, not with its box office, but with how much it accomplished for so little. Marvel Studios, which has faced criticism in recent years for its massive budgets and overloaded VFX, thus took notice. So much so that Kevin Feige and his team reportedly met with the creator's behind-the-scenes crew to better understand how the film delivered cinematic spectacle without breaking the bank. And now, Marvel is approaching its future by being smarter and more budget-conscious than ever. While some criticize the sci-fi movie for its storyline, pacing, and borrowing too much from older sci-fi classics, others praised it for its stunning visuals, creativity, and atmosphere. And in an age where Marvel was getting criticized for bloated CGI and overexpensive spectacles, this was the kind of inspiration the studio needed. So, Kevin Feige didn't just admire it from afar, he acted. The creator became a masterclass in doing more with less. The 2023 film delivered blockbuster-level visuals on a surprisingly tight budget. And according to Kevin Feige's discussion with Deadline, that was the kind of creative efficiency that made him sit up and take notes. Shot in Thailand with a minimal crew and relatively low budget, Gareth Edwards cooked and left Feige stunned. After learning from Gareth Edwards, Kevin Feige isn't pretending everything's been perfect. During his interview, he surprisingly admitted what many fans have been whispering: Marvel lost its way. After Avengers: Endgame, the studio expanded rapidly, introducing more shows, characters, and content than audiences could keep up with. The Marvel boss and his team reportedly sat down with the creator's production crew to learn how they managed to create something so polished without breaking the bank. This wasn't just curiosity, it was strategic. Marvel needed a new production plan after years of massive spending, inconsistent VFX quality, and the added costs of pandemic-era filming. Feige explained, "The movies made over the last 2 years have been upwards of a third cheaper than they were 2 years before that, i.e., Deadpool and Wolverine, Captain America, Thunderbolts***, and Fantastic Four are all significantly cheaper than films from 2022 and 2023, and they would have been even cheaper if it wasn't for the strikes." Now, Marvel's playbook is changing. With Gareth Edwards' efficient filmmaking style as a model, the studio is dialing things down to a smarter level. The era of big budgets for every project is coming to an end. Now, his new game plan includes everything he has learned so far: don't fear experimentation, stay creative, but keep the budget low. By admitting where things went wrong and embracing new techniques, Kevin Feige is hinting that maybe Marvel's revival is possible, after all. Let us know in the comments what you think of Marvel Studios' future with this revamped strategy. So now, Kevin Feige admits that this overexpansion, although done with good intentions, ended up causing all the problems. Feige pointed to recent flops like Captain America: Brave New World, saying it struggled simply because fans missed Chris Evans. Meanwhile, Thunderbolts** introduced characters most audiences hadn't seen unless they watched several Disney Plus shows. Thunderbolts** was a very good movie, but nobody knew that title, and many of those characters were from shows. There was that residual effect of audiences going, "I guess I had to have seen these other shows to understand who this is?" But here's the thing, instead of sulking, Kevin Feige owned his mistakes and is now shifting gears. Claiming to be proud of the risks he took, even if they didn't work out well, Feige admitted that he'll keep on experimenting to help the studio evolve. And this time, learning from the creator and acknowledging his recent missteps, Feige is crafting a comeback strategy that could actually work. Bo DeMeo says Marvel and Kevin Feige's plan for the X-Men is messy, confusing, and risks ruining the mutant saga. Welcome to Stats In. If you're just joining us, please subscribe and don't forget to turn on notifications bell for more video. While there were moments of personal criticism from Beau DeMayo in his post because of his past with Marvel, he perfectly detailed exactly how the MCU and Kevin Feige are mishandling the mutant saga. Beau DeMayo detailed Kevin Feige's approach to the mutant saga and pointed out exactly why it does not make sense. Recently, the X-Men '97 creator took to his X and talked about how he does not trust the MCU and Feige with the mutants. Providing facts to back this opinion, he pointed out the direction that the franchise has been taking since they were first mentioned. Kevin is introducing new concepts like adamantium and mutant Ms. Marvel while simultaneously recycling old Fox characters, all before telling us they're going to reboot everything anyways? Like, what the F***ck? DeMayo believes that a lot of decisions that Marvel has been making with the mutants are made without considering the fans and are ego-driven. In his opinion, the approach that the series is taking seems unclear, lacking a plan, and trying to create an amalgamation that feels more like a mess. Considering the problems that DeMayo pointed out, the mutants may not be safe in the MCU. He believes that the reason why someone like Jubilee or Kitty Pryde wasn't introduced first was for the sake of creatives wanting to put their personal touch on the X-Men, when they should not be changed in the eyes of the fans. He further added that the MCU seems to be providing cheap fan service by bringing in characters in films that either don't make sense, like Beast and the Marvels, or are just there for nostalgia's sake, like Professor X in Doctor Strange 2. In his rant, Beau DeMayo ended up pointing out the split identity that exists within the MCU right now. On the one hand, the franchise wants to introduce new characters and concepts, bringing in adamantium and Ms. Marvel at the beginning of their stories. However, it is also bringing in so many old elements from the Fox universe, like in Deadpool and Wolverine. The overall consensus of his posts was that he believes the franchise is not showing care or integrity to characters that especially deserve it. He highlights that such choices undermine decades of X-Men storytelling, undoing it all for shock factor and fan service. His biggest criticism was that such storytelling showcases a lack of a long-term plan, which is something that is bound to ruin the mutant saga, which should be thoroughly thought through before executing anything. Such an introduction to these characters could ruin the very thing that longtime fans love about them. Being a mix of recycled ideas, unearned cameos, and disjointed subplots shows a lack of a unified identity. The franchise is not able to convince itself of what it wants, let alone its fans. The final cherry on top of their plan is the confirmation that everything is eventually going to be rebooted, making all of these elements insignificant in the long run. The manner in which the X-Men are being treated doesn't give fans confidence in the franchise's ability, causing DeMayo's words to act more like a warning than an opinion. Do you agree with Beau DeMayo's take, or do you trust Marvel's process? Let us know in the comments below. This showcases a muddled vision of what the future of the mutants holds, creating a lot of confusion. Not only is it difficult to keep track of all the new elements, but the MCU isn't even able to justify what these characters stand for, which is the biggest part of their story.